I have been struggling a little bit with sleep, and it all just kind of comes back around. It's like if you don't get a lot of work done, then you're probably not going to sleep super well, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I'm hanging out at my friend's apartment, and I'm grateful for that. The humbling thing, though, is I'm just here in his stead. He actually signed his contract and finished his contract today. So I'm not coming over here anymore. But the humbling thing is that he told me months ago, "Hey man, if you ever want a place to chill, you want to ever come hang out or anything like that, like he had Smash Bros, like he had all these things on deck. Like, you just have to ask. Like God has the blessings on deck, and sometimes you just have to swallow your pride and be like, "Hey man, like what's going on, right?" Because God will take care of you. And this friend, he's just been very encouraging. And that's not always what you get. So when you do get that, it's important to not take that for granted. And yeah, man, it's humbling. This has happened a couple times in my life where somebody is kind of like, "Hey, man, like, here's this. Like, you ever want to come by and have dinner? Just let me know and you can come by and have dinner." That happened in college. And you take that offer like twice and you could have taken it a bunch of more times. It's like, it's on you. If you feel like you aren't deserving and you keep getting in the way of asking for certain things from people or certain blessings, then that's on you. You don't have to do that. Life was not made for us to just suffer through it and die. It wasn't made for that. It was made so that we could grow, progress, get to understand God's goodness, and then die and prepare for something greater because of what Jesus did. But yeah, today's Halloween. Today marks 8 years since I got back from serving my 2 year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's pretty humbling. And yeah, we're just making this super quick live. I don't think anybody's going to show up, and that's fine, you know? We're showing up for ourselves today. That's okay. But yeah, man, it's humbling. It's humbling when things that you took for granted all of a sudden are taken away from you. And it's not like it's taken away, it's just given to another person. And the same thing happened to, it's a little bit different of a situation. But you think of like King Saul. Hello, thank you. Happy Halloween to you too. Yeah, it's like when King Saul was the king, he disobeyed God and he lost his kingdom because of it. He lost his kingdom just like that. Just one action, bro. One action. God's always merciful, but he also has some justice there. And so you have to be really intentional with this life. Like, you can't afford to waste it. So when somebody is a safe space, when somebody is like, they've opened their door to you to help you in some way, shape, or form, please do not waste that. Um, it's so easy to take things for granted. I lived at home for like a year or two after, well, it was like 19 months after college. And I believe in Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, it's um it's humbling because I'm not living at home anymore. I'm not going to live at home anymore. We're on the up and up. But there's some tilt and tumbling on the up and up. And so instead of like, if you're living at home, your parents are more or less going up and doing stuff and they're providing all the stuff, all the stability so you can stay there. And you can just kind of reap all the benefits and work and save up money and all that stuff. Whereas, so there's that. And then there's like my situation where now I'm the one that's going up in the mountain. I'm doing this stuff and I'm paying for rent, and it's kind of a lot. It's like it would have been nice to save up money, make this a little easier on myself, similar to like in any video game. Before you go on a quest, it helps to prepare for that quest. It helps to have certain, like, have like a journal or have like an idea of where the shops are. You want to know how much money you have. Like, I remember playing Dungeon Siege with my cousins and we try to plan this out. It's like, okay, I'm going to be level 5 at this point, so then I'll be able to summon these enemies that would help us to progress farther in the game. And then you just lock in on that and you focus on that. And if you don't, then you'll might get to a point in the game where you've grown in some way that you didn't want to. I think that is one of the most fascinating things about life, is how flipping short it is. It helps you to be intentional and to not waste time. I have ADHD, which means my brain is kind of on a constant loop. And I've learned that I need to be intentional with what I put in that loop because anything I throw in that loop could come out of that loop down the road, which is humbling. And I've experienced that. And it's also been kind of hilarious. It's like, why did that come to mind? Well, it came to mind because you once threw it in the loop. It's like this river, this ocean, and it's constantly flowing. And so I've learned to be kinder to myself with that. And sometimes you just have to let it flow and not even stress about anything that's going on because life is too short to stress about stuff. Every time I've stressed about something, it's still worked out. Like I had my first relationship a couple years ago and that didn't work out. But guess what? It did work out because it didn't work out because it was not supposed to happen. So you just have to remember that this life is bigger than just a moment. It's bigger than just a moment. It's bigger than just a season. It's bigger than just a year. And it helps to really think a little bit farther out. I don't want you like it's not good to think like super far out and live in that, but it helps to remember. Yeah, exactly. Vicart. That's exactly it. You have to remember how far that it's that you've come because you've gotten this far somehow. You've made through 100% of your most terrible days up to this point. And that's the truth. So, yeah, we just had to hop on really fast. Yeah, Jax FN 67. I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I'm getting taken out to pizza with a friend, but I'm doing 75 hard right now, so I'll just be having salad and pasta. So that's a thing. And a lot of times the work is invisible and it just takes time. I've been building this newsletter. I'm working for a friend's startup, hence why I'm reading this book right now. But I just wanted to take a little break because I really love speaking and I would like to get into speaking on a bigger scale. But this is at least practice. I can watch this back over and see how cringy it is. There's been some of my stuff that I look back at it and I'm like, wow, like I definitely have come a long way because this is just cringy. But then there's other stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm just glad he showed up. I made a lot of YouTube videos in college. You might as well, man. College flies by, and then you got to find a job and whatnot. So it helps to have something you're building on the side while you're going through college. Just like even just five, like it's literally at this point with AI and everything else, you could literally set aside like 10 hours a week and build something real in a semester even. So yeah, a lot of it just comes down to your focus. I think a lot of the struggle is that a lot of my generation and the next generation, their brains and focuses are getting cooked in not a good way by all these different TV shows or influencers and whatever, and they don't really know what it's like to just take a week to just sort of do your own thing and not be plugged in all the time. I think one of the craziest parts, it's been a very subtle shift, and I've seen it because I was born in the 90s. I've seen it's been a very subtle shift, but we've gone from like dial up to, now like everybody has like you have internet connection to now anybody with a phone basically has a walking internet connection with them. So it's basically ever present, which is great in some ways, but you also don't want to indulge in it very much. You could think of it as like having a portable ocean in your back pocket or your front pocket or whatever. If you could just press a button and get swallowed up by that ocean, you probably wouldn't want to do that. There might be times where you're ready to swim, right? All right, let's just swim in the ocean. I got my swimsuit. I'm all ready to go. I'm ready to go in the ocean. But then there's other times where it's like, dude, I'm not ready. And if you get into that, it might throw off your groove, might throw off your flow. Uh, I think the biggest tragedy when it comes to time is when you have a clear plan of what you're gonna do, and then you decide in a moment of weakness or whatever, like I'm gonna just check this, I'm gonna just check this, and all of a sudden your brain is in a different place, and it takes time for you to come back to where you were. It takes time. So I don't know. We're just grateful, man. I'm grateful I'm doing this little silly thing. It was funny. The landlord here uh, I was telling him I was reading this book because it's his book, and I was just reading it because my boss wanted me to read it, and I told him to call me SpongeBob because I'm just soaking up this book like a sponge, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Look, I have the hat to prove it, dude. I have the hat. I have the Krusty Krab hat." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you had that." And yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I just need to transform into a sponge and lose like, I don't know, like 2 feet of height, and I'd just be about right about there." So, how to make money? Yeah, well, I mean, there's the traditional way. Omi Kanarhar. Sorry, I totally butchered that. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep today. It's kind of been a bit of a long day, but yeah, with earning money, you have traditionally like jobs. You have a service business that you can start, like mowing a lawn, or what I've done a couple times is I read people's college essays and help them to make changes and edit it and stuff. So you can do that. And other than that, you could have a product. Like I've written a couple books, and so those can get paid for and bought endlessly. There's no limit to how much I could get paid. It's only limited by how many people click that button to buy it. So there's a couple different avenues you can go. I would recommend what Alex Hermosi recommends, which is to build one up to it's self-sustaining and then build another one. What I've tried doing is I build up one and then I switch and build another one. And so now we have two that aren't really there. So I have a podcast that comes out twice a week that I've been doing since college. So like 6 years. And I tried doing a premium version of that where people would pay like every month and stuff because I have a pretty consistent audience, but then nobody was willing to pay for it. But then I have this newsletter I've been doing, and I get some pretty good traffic of people checking out my books and stuff from that traffic. I mean, I sent it out to 1,000 people, so 1 out of 1,000 people is probably going to click on the link if I, set it up that way. And it's just practice, and it's just like setting yourself up for success, future you, and understanding a little bit what you like to do. I think what Sahil Bloom about following your energy is huge. Nikar, if you're still here, I did a gaming YouTube channel when I was younger. That was super fun with my brother and cousins, and we never made any money from it, but we were able to reach a lot of people, and it was fun. Those videos are still on YouTube. You can look it up. It's called Tanuki Toad Team. We played a lot of Mario Party and Smash Bros, and that was a lot of my first diving into content creation was way back then. So yeah, I think those are the main ways. So there's traditional, like you're working for somebody who pays you. Traditionally, some kind of company, W2A or whatever it's called. You got that. You have starting your own service-based business, like mowing a lawn or something like that, having a review thingy mabobber of some kind. It's basically establishing authority, and then people pay you for it. It's like there's a lot of life coaches. I have a friend who's a life coach, and he charges huge dollars for charge like $6,000 for 3 months of his coaching. And hey, man, you just need one. We just need one, and then it can build off. You get testimonials, and then it keeps building up. So you got traditional job, service business. You got the having a productized business. So like a course or book, something that can just get bought over and over and over and over again. There's a course called Build Once, Sell Twice that I bought that I haven't gone all the way through, but it has pretty good framework for that. Another person is Derek Severs. You can look him up on YouTube. He has a concept about like not making sure you're not limited in how much money you can make. He talks about if you're a toy maker, then you can make as many toys as you want or whatever. And you just have to get it supplied at like a warehouse, and then you're limited by the warehouse, and warehouses can churn those things out like crazy. You just need to have demand. Or you can, if you were like a surgeon and you can only do one operation at a time, you're obviously limited in your income. So Ali Abdal is somebody that was in the hospital field and was making money doing that. And then his YouTube channel started growing up, and then he did productized business with his YouTube Creator Academy, and then it's kind of ballooned. So to kind of wrap that all up for you, I would say just follow the energy and get to know what people need and create something that satisfies that need. And also just have fun. Have fun and create stuff that you like. I mean, a lot of my newsletter, I love making my newsletter. I don't even make much money from it ever. Like really. I've had one sponsor on it and it wasn't very much money. But it's fun. I like it a lot. And it's a start, like a 1,000 person newsletter is probably not going to make any big waves, but guess what? A year ago it had 500 people. So next year it could have 4,000 people or 10,000 people or more. So there's really no limit. I think a lot of it comes down to your beliefs. I kind of grew up in a household and family where sometimes it's just the traditional path was so celebrated that doing something different was just super taboo, not really celebrated. So I don't know. So that's that. I think of like what I want to do in the future and how it's so vital that I schedule time to go to these different places that and spend time with these people that have said like they want to spend time with me. That's a gift. That's a gift. When somebody wants to spend time with you, but it's not overbearing and they're not forcing themselves, and they also bring something to the table and there's something interesting from it, like that's cool. Like I have a friend who wants to get into professional boxing, and I met him from running my first marathon. So if you want to meet elite people, then go to some elite event. You're only going to find elite people at marathons. You're not going to find any people that are drowning in their social media feeds or anything at marathons. It's just not going to happen. Similarly, like I went to this real estate conference thing pretty recently, and I did not feel adequate to be in that room. You got all these people with real estate and making all this money, and that was a very good room to be in. Like it sounds a little cliche, but legitimately, I felt my life like elevate. Like I wanted to be a much better person because the way these guys were living their life was like high caliber, super locked in, high caliber. So there you go. Yeah, man. So I mean, that's basically it. I've read a couple books, made some money from that. Need to get them in paperback so I can create more of a movement with it. It's mostly been people reading it on their phones, which is very limited. Uh, I have some books I read on my phone, but it's just like the phone does so many other things. It's so tough to only do that. Whereas with a book, that's the only thing you do with a book really is you read it. So there's that. I've delivered pizza. I've done door-to-door sales. I've worked for a couple tech companies. I'm working for a startup right now. So yeah, man. I mean, you just got to try out stuff and figure out what works for you. And if you can find something that you really enjoy that you would do for free, and I know that's a huge ask and that's super cliche, but if you can find something like that, then do that. Like find some way to do that. Working for my friend's startup right now, I don't really get paid a lot because it's a startup, but it has huge income potential in the future. And mostly not even that. It's like I want to just help out my friend. He's an awesome friend. I want to help him get his thing off the ground. So there's that. Yeah, I think that about wraps that up. But you just don't want to have a limit on the income that you can make. You really just don't, especially in the world today. Like you can make it happen. You got to find some way to stand out. Like, and the algorithm's going to be the algorithm. But if you continue to improve yourself and grow, then you're gonna see progress. So I remember when this YouTube channel had like 50 subscribers or something like that. And then I had a couple shorts that did kind of well, and then it sort of picked up, and now it's kind of leveled out. But it's all a journey end of the day. And it's fun to have something that will be here after I die, right? That's exciting to me. That's interesting to me. That's helpful. Like one of my kids could watch this video 20 years from now if they wanted to, because it's there. It's possible. They could just scroll through the whole thing and scroll through the library and be like, huh, that's an interesting title. I should listen to that one. And there you go. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff. I've also dug potatoes. I dug potatoes. So something that has more manual labor might pay more. Maybe not. It just depends. So, but that's kind of that. And like it's just going to take time. Like you have to understand that the nature of like building, like I think the quote is that building wealth is like a long game thing. Becoming rich is like tends to be like more short term. And that is kind of how it goes. But like being wealthy, that requires discipline in multiple areas of your life, and that's something that like that's consistent over time. And that's why a lot of SaaS developers and stuff, they are really wealthy because they set up a subscription and then people pay in a retainer, and there you go. Like I mean, like you think about it, the number of customers that Netflix has, and they keep jacking up their prices. I think it was like $8 at one point or even less, and now it's like 15.99 or something crazy for with ads or something crazy, and you're just like, goodness gracious. But it's very tempting for them because if you have like 500 mil, no, they don't have that many. If you have like 10 million customers is crazy. If you had 10 million customers, 10 million paying customers, 10 million subscribers, if you bring up the price by $2 extra a month, then um, yeah, that's 20 million extra dollars a month that your company makes, which is crazy. So you just you got to show that you are worth it. And I think this is something I'm still working on personally because people might jump on here and jump out because I just kind of look like I don't know, I've been told I'm homeless or whatever. I'm not homeless, believe it or not. Um, yeah, just sort of living my life. But if you can have some kind of narrative and you're living in line with that narrative, like Alex Hormozy is a perfect example of this, in my opinion. He's like, you need to work hard, you need to do all these things. And guess what? That's exactly what he's done. And that's how he got to where he is. And so it's like an endless feedback loop. What he does and who he is goes back into what he sells, and it just continues and continues and continues and continues. So yeah, I think that's a good way to go. And also you got to be experimenting. I mean, there's so many things. Like Gumroad is honestly so amazing in that you can literally like upload PDFs or Word documents or whatever and get paid and sell those. You can sell basically anything on there. But yeah, people have sold like presets for just different Twitch stuff. I mean, just there's no limits in this world, zero. But a lot of it is you have to be able to take some time to yourself. You have to be able to take a time out to just sort of think and do your own thing and to experiment and to tinker and to play around with some of these tools that we've been given. And yeah, so you can't expect to have like huge success overnight. But if you're consistent and you keep putting yourself out there, I mean, it's definitely going to add up. It's going to lead to something. It's going to lead to something good. So, you know, and just knowing that the little stuff really does add up. So you keep on showing up and doing what you got to do, and it is going to add up for you. So that's basically it. I'm so sleepy, dude. I'm going to I'm getting food with a friend at 6, so in 2 hours. And my boss is calling me in 45 minutes. So going to have to get some work done, but I just sort of doing this as a little break just to kind of get this thought out there because it was on my mind. So, quick little thought from this book for anybody who's still here. He talks about having different levels of opportunity when you're scoping out different businesses you could sell your solution to. And he's like, so there's the elephants, there's the rabbit, and there's the deer. And he's like, the elephant is the company that is well established, super big, and if you can get it, like it'll be a ton of money. The downside with an elephant is that it could control you. right? If it was like an early startup, it could control them, be like, hey, we need this feature, and then it can switch your business model up or whatever. And it also is huge. And so, like, if it doesn't go well, it's probably not going to go well for you either. Rabbits tend to go faster through the selling cycle. You could pitch your product to the person that you need to pitch it to and get it going. However, with rabbits, they are fast. They sometimes jump from one solution to another, and they may not even have all of the things that you need. They may not stick around, and so they might churn, meaning they subscribe and they pay you, and maybe it's this great amount of money. You're like, wow, but then they unsubscribe. And the only way that SaaS can work on a long scale is if you get happy, loyal customers. That's the only way. And I know that enough to say that much. And then deer is pretty good size opportunity, isn't too fast. You can get what you need in there, and that's probably where you're gonna win. So yeah, it's a good book. It has a lot of good truths that just said something, and it just talks about not wasting your time with things that you know aren't worth your time, which makes sense, but sometimes it's worth saying. Just doing things for activity's sake is sometimes really a waste of time. Just sometimes you got to go after those deer, go where the deer are instead of settling for the rabbits. So yeah, that's basically it today. It'll be fun to watch this one again. Just tired. But we're just chilling, man. We're chilling. It's humbling. Like, this life is so limitless. So my friend was living here and he was paying rent to a guy who's probably like 3 or 4 years older than I am. And that's it. And he owns this house. We're just chilling. So we're just here for the day though. We're just passing through basically. So yeah, man, that's basically that. Yeah, showing up for yourself, being intentional. There's that quote that says, like, you will very rarely experience more success than you've experienced like your level of self-improvement. So working on your emotional intelligence, working on your mind, working on your spiritual walk, if that's something you follow, that's something I do. So, that helps. But I appreciate that question. I mean, that definitely helped power this up, even if you're gone. But yeah, man, I think that's it. I think we're just gonna close up shop. But it was fun, and I'm definitely sleepy, but very blessed, very blessed. We're just chilling, and yeah, just got to get things more in order. Got to be more intentional. Got to be more patient, more trusting, more relaxed, and just put in the work each day. I figured this out. If I work on my newsletter a little bit each day, then I can keep putting it out every week. I don't have to spend a ton of time one day and get it done. I can get it done little bit by little bit. So yeah, it's just a lot about, like, if there's something you want to accomplish in the next couple years and there's some things you got to do to do that, then remind yourself of that often, what you want to do, and that will help you to do it. And then, yeah, you could be there. You could be there. So, like today, YouTube channel obviously definitely needs some help. A lot of things that need work, but that's the beautiful thing. We got time. So anyway, I hope that was beneficial for you. Thanks for hopping on this little live stream with me. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and have an awesome one. Take care.